Black Mirror Season 6 has just dropped over the weekend on Netflix. It's only 5 episodes long, and it's been quite a while since Season 5 came out. This is our review for it. So, James, what are your thoughts on these 5 episodes or just the season overall?
I will discuss each one individually and how I feel because you can't really.
Yeah.
It's hard to do an overall, which I will get to, but I'll just break down episode by episode. So the first one, Joan is awful.
Mhm.
The lady from Schitt's Creek and Salma Hayek. I thought that one was okay. As far as Black Mirror episodes, it's not in the top echelon of those kind of episodes, but there was enough intrigue in there for me to be invested in the story. You could kind of see where it was going, and then when it kind of explained the twist or the kind of detail that had been missing the entire time, it was kind of like, it's easy writing. Perhaps not easy, but it's definitely not to the high standards that I've seen Black Mirror do before. I thought the acting was pretty good throughout it. I thought Salma Hayek, except for Salma Hayek, I thought she was overacting at times, and it just a little bit too much. Where I was just kind of like, stop talking.
I got those feels as well.
It was just a bit much for me. I keep forgetting the main person's the actress.
I think it's Amy someone.
Yeah.
You keep talking, I'll find that out for you.
I thought she was really good. I thought she played it very well. The overall concept, I think, is very funny considering it's from Netflix, and obviously what it was using was a thing called Streamberry, which opens up like Netflix and everything.
Exactly, same sound and everything.
Yeah, it was cool and meta in that sense. But some parts didn't really make sense to it. Are we going to discuss plot details here?
I don't know. I guess we can. I mean,
if you're watching this, you've probably seen it.
Spoiler alert!
Spoiler alert! We are going to talk about the plot. We're not going to go like full deep into spoilers, but there may be stuff that you may consider a spoiler. So you've been warned.
Her name's Annie Murphy.
Annie Murphy, that's the one. Some stuff didn't make sense on or I wish we had elaboration on how it's like when she's asking about how does it know my life and exactly what I do. And it's just like, how you say something and then it shows up everywhere on social media.
When you're when you have a phone.
Yeah, and then that was the way they explained it. And I'm like, no, that's very different. They know exactly what she's doing and how she's doing and what she's saying. You got to explain more than that. Yeah. I didn't fully buy into the whole thing because of that. Because I'm like, how would they know? But I did like the paradoxical things where it's like, it's like Salma Hayek is replicating it through each kind of level.
It's like Inception.
Yeah. So there were some cool things done with that. Overall, I thought it was fine, enjoyable episode. What do you think on that one?
Yeah, before I get into that, do you want to give our scores for individual episodes or nah?
No, I'll just do the overall season. Yeah,
cool, sounds good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had the same thoughts as you. I think it was an okay sort of episode. It wasn't as bad.
Yeah.
I think ever since season 4, Black Mirror has just been pretty average overall. And
season 5 was bad.
Yeah, except it just had there's always just one episode where it's really good that pretty much carries the season.
Yeah.
But I pretty much the same thoughts as you. Mm-hmm. I think Salma Hayek at some points was quite unbearable.
Yeah.
And just, it was hard to watch. I did think Annie Murphy was excellent in it. Mm-hmm. I really liked her performance. It's different to what I've seen her before, which is Schitt's Creek, where she plays a comedic character.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see her do some real acting, show more than just her funny side. So that was really good.
Yeah.
The concept, it's a good concept, but I think, like you said, the way they explained it, how they figured all this stuff out, sort of let it down. If they had something all your devices on, I don't know, because there's a scene where she's driving and she's singing along. If they use some sort of excuse where Netflix or Streamberry has access to all the cameras in the world somehow, and they access it through traffic cameras,
stuff like that.
That's a good thing, because then it shows that they're capturing actually what's happening, and then also on your phone, the microphone, they're tapping into that to catch the audio as well. See, there you go. Netflix just gave you a good idea.
Yeah.
So if something like that happened, it would have been way better. But yeah, that reason was pretty flat.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think when I love a Black Mirror episode, it's when it reveals this concept. I'm like, man, like that could happen. What if that happens? Oh my gosh, like that would be serious or scary or exciting or some of those things. So yeah, this one I didn't buy it because it just felt so unbelievable and different. But
even the tech on because the text messages they can use, it's justifiable.
Yeah.
But like in terms of like actually what they did in real life to what they did on the screen, that's unjustifiable from what the explanation they gave us.
Yeah, I thought it was a bit much in that sense. The next one, Loch Henry, that one.
Is that the Scottish one?
Yeah. It's the one where they're filming a documentary. Yeah. I liked this one. I think it might be my favorite out of the 5 that I've seen. I do like the 5th one. It doesn't feel like Black Mirror. It doesn't belong in the Black Mirror series or the name Black Mirror. But I thought it was a good episode and a good story. Heartbreaking, shocking, all those kind of things. I thought they laid out that story quite well. And I predicted that I'm not going to go into the spoiler for that one because it's a pretty big needle drop of who did what in that show. Yeah, I guess the murder in this case, or murders. But I guessed a part of that. So it is somewhat easily predictable in that sense. So still not what Black Mirror should be. It should be unpredictable. Mm-hmm. But it was just kind of a weak guess on my part. So I'll pat myself on the back for that one. It wasn't an obvious one, I'll say that. But yeah, I thought it built up the tension really well and how it came to be, and just how it was shot beautifully. Great landscape shots. It established this town. Just really good tension across the board. And I love the way it came to an end. It was almost immediate, abrupt. I felt the heartbreak.
Yeah.
It hit hard, like emotionally and with the senses, I guess, in terms of it being quite scary. But yeah, it was a good ride. What did you think of that one?
Yeah, I enjoyed it as well. It was very tense. I found that, for me, I think it was a bit slow to start, but then when shit hit the fan, that's when the tensions really arose, especially when the big, reveal happened.
Yeah.
And the way that certain characters reacted to that, you could just feel like their fear and uncomfortableness and how they just want to, escape or something. Genji from Game of Thrones, I really loved him.
Yeah.
In this. He was hilarious. I think it's just because I like those sort of characters, the potty mouth people. And stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I thought he was cool. And it's just so different to what I've seen him before, which is Game of Thrones, where he played like the sort of timid sort of character, I haven't seen anything else off the other actors and actresses. But yeah, I think the way that ended and how it just abruptly ended, like you're thinking that there's going to be a lot more, or there's certain characters going to do something to themselves at the end of it, but we don't get that. Super emotional as well, like
that last shot or scene. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, that was a heavy one to watch. And it was just like, damn.
Yeah.
But it's quite hard not to. I don't want to spoil it for you because it's actually one of the best things this season. For sure.
It definitely surprised me.
Yeah.
It was good though. The third one, the one with Aaron Paul. I forgot what it's called. But yeah, what do you think about that one?
For me, okay, yep. I really enjoyed that. To be honest, I think it's probably one of my favorite episodes of the season.
Really?
I think it's just because it's space and I love space sort of content.
Mm-hmm.
And I did enjoy that whole concept, how the actual physical bodies were up in space traveling, doing a mission. We never knew what the mission was, or if it was revealed, I clearly didn't pay attention. But all we know is that they're in space. I think it was about a 4-year journey they explained, and they were halfway through it. They're in space. They're away from Earth, but down on Earth they have like pretty much replicas of them, but as a machine sort of. So what they do is when they're in space, they like put in a tag, go to sleep, and then they go down and have time with their family and stuff like that. So I thought that whole concept was cool and very interesting, and I didn't quite see the end coming. I mean, you might have, judging by your facial expressions, but I didn't really see that.
We're not on video yet.
Yeah, I didn't really see that coming. I thought, obviously, stuff was going to happen. I thought it was going to be the other way around, as in something would happen up in space between the two guys.
Right.
But I didn't expect it to happen down on Earth. But yeah, I think this is another one that we can't quite get into much detail on, right?
At least for the end, we can talk about how what happens to one of the guys at the start.
So Josh Hartnett's character, pretty much his family gets murdered in front of him.
Axed, yeah.
He gets axed,
but he's not real, so...
He's not real in there, so it's
the replica.
His replica, yeah. So pretty much these...
Hippies. It's like the Charles Manson,
yeah.
Because it's 1969, so I think they were trying to do the Charles Manson kind of thing.
Yeah, I got those vibe as well.
Yeah.
So they pretty much went into his house and, caused a ruckus and killed his family in front of him, and when he went up into space, he was just distraught. So Aaron Paul's character was like, "Hey, you can use my replica just so you can like get the feel of the Earth and the air and whatnot, and interact with humans and whatnot."
Yeah.
And then stuff happened.
Stuff happened
after that.
Yeah.
I do like the score on this. I think across the majority of these episodes, I think the scores is very, very good. Probably one of the best. Nope, I take that back. It's not one of the best, but it's like very like it fits the episodes quite nicely.
Yeah. They blend nicely. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on it?
I'll say that episode 4 is lucky that it exists because this is my least liked episode besides episode 4, obviously. I thought this episode was bad. It was way too long.
Yeah, it was like an hour 20.
Yeah, it's like a movie. I saw as soon as his family died, I knew exactly what's going to happen, just instantly. Like it was just obvious that he'd fall for the next thing. I nearly went to spoiler territory there, so I'm not going to do that. But I just saw it coming a mile away. You just kind of knew where it was going, and there was no quick plot twist. And that's what I think Black Mirror is like when it's at its best, is when it's like, boom, this is actually what's going on. This is what's happening. This is how it happened. It's not just some steady build where you kind of just see where it's going and you're like, oh, okay, so he did that. All right. And I didn't feel any emotion during it because I knew that was going to happen. And so I was let down by it. And I'm not trying to say like I'm a master at predicting these kind of things. I was a master when it came to the second episode and predicting it, but this one it was just obvious, yeah. And I thought the acting from Aaron Paul excellent as always. He was brilliant.
He needs to be in more things.
He does. He was just able to play two different people in just a different way where you could tell who was in that replica body. So yeah, I thought it was good in that. Perhaps if this was shorter, I'd enjoy it more. But to know kind of where it's going and what's happening, at least like 15 minutes in, you got to sit there for an hour and just kind of endure the rest of it. And you're like, oh, okay, yeah, that's what I thought would happen. Yeah. So I didn't like it, but I liked Aaron Paul. He should have been in the better one, personally.
Yeah.
That brings me to the fourth one, Maisie Day. This one, I just downright hated it. I finished and I was like, what the hell was that?
Me too. I think I zoned out. I think I was on my phone for most of this episode.
Okay, don't say that. But yeah, no, I was like, what is going on? Like, what is this? I thought it opened up really nicely, and I'm like, oh, they're going to get to like paparazzi and celebrity culture and how that affects celebrities. That could be very interesting. And then it went into this like really like supernatural kind of
horror sort of element, sort of feel to it.
And I'm like, I don't know what the episode was trying to say. I don't know if there was even a concept. It was just like, what is this? It was really bizarre, and I think it opened up quite strongly. But yeah, it just failed to deliver on what it could have done.
Yeah.
But yeah, it went a really like strange way. That I was just like, yeah, distracted and not focused. I was like, okay.
And it just happened out of nowhere with no explanation.
Yeah.
As well, like, as to why this supernatural sort of element was brought into it. It just happened.
And and then as soon as that comes, and then it's like a big like action final scene, and from there it's still like a little bit of nothing. Yeah. I think it could have said a lot with the concept that it opened up with, but it just went into this really weird direction that I don't really know what they wanted to do with it.
Yeah. I definitely think it's one of my least favorite ones from the season.
It might be one of the least liked Black Mirror episodes by me in general.
Thankfully, it's only 42 minutes, which is the shortest of the season.
Yes,
so.
that was the good part. Yeah.
What did you think of Zazie Beetz in it?
I thought she was good. She's a really talented actress, and I wouldn't say this is my favorite thing that she's been in. Nor would it be my favorite performance, which I couldn't think of at the top of my head. But yeah, I thought she was strong. Probably one of the more likable, I guess charismatic, like parts of the episode. I think his name's Danny Ramirez, the other guy that she's with in it. I thought he was really good as well, and provides a an interesting part of that episode, which I guess is not hard to do, but I liked him in it. Yeah.
Right now, episode 5, this is just solely going to be carried by James because I slacked off a little and I didn't have time to watch this final episode, but I will do so tonight or tomorrow. Thankfully, it's not Black Mirror as a individual sort of stories. It's not one collective, so
so you can get away with it. I
can't get away with it.
We'll let it slide.
Let it slide. The big boss will let it slide.
Big boss. Don't listen to this man.
So, do you want to get into it?
All right. Demon 79, I believe it's called. I like this one. I don't know if it's the longest because the Aaron Paul one's definitely long.
I think it's like an hour 10 or hour 1 something.
This one I'm talking about now, Demon 79. Yeah, it is really long. It contends with it for sure. But I like this one. It doesn't fit in. It's almost like Lock Henry. In terms of the feel of it, it doesn't feel like Black Mirror at all. It feels like something completely different. But I did like it as a standalone story, a good episode. Essentially, the basic plot is that this girl finds, I'm not going to spoilers just for your sake, but this girl finds this talisman, and then a demon comes and says, hey, you got to kill 3 people or the apocalypse is going to happen. And the thing plays out. And it's a really sweet and innocent girl, so it's like there's a lot of moral conflict there, but she has a dark side to it. It plays it really well. It's really intriguing. There are a lot of underlying themes to it. I thought it was just interesting, and I was kept watching. I was like, what's going to happen? Like, where's it going to go? And it was quite tense at times, and it was funny at times. Just a really well balanced and well written episode. So it's probably, I don't know if it's my favorite. I did like the second one. Even the first one could be a contender. But yeah, I thought this was, a good episode that didn't feel like it belonged in the Black Mirror. It doesn't need the Black Mirror name. It can just be its own thing.
Yeah.
So for the creators of the show, I think it's Charlie Booker or something like that. Don't just, you can create something outside of Black Mirror. Stuff like this can work, but it doesn't need to be in the Black Mirror series
name,
so
to speak.
So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think you'll like it too. But yeah, overall, we'll discuss the season now. It's still a letdown. Like, you go back to those first 2 seasons,
they were god tier.
They were god tier. You're like, oh my gosh. And then season 3 and 4, they definitely had some really high points. There were always that episode in there that was like, oof, like yeah. But yeah, season 5 and 6 have just not been good at all. And I've never liked the way the creators have talked about it. They just say stuff like, oh, our world's messed up as it is now. And I'm like, everything you've shown in Black Mirror is worse than what's happening right now. Like, don't be like that. And so they've been real flimsy with it, and they're not putting in technology concepts in it. You can see that in season 5 here, or season 6, sorry. Like they've just gone away from technology. You know, we got some supernatural one. We got some
horror,
some satanic one with this the 5th one, and then it's like a horror one with that the Loch Henry one, and then there's 2 technology ones in there.
Yeah,
but evil technology, or bad or good technological future concepts is where I think Black Mirror's strength lies. It's kind of what everyone wants as well. I think play to your strengths. Do not play or don't try and explore other genres because
don't play to every market.
Yeah, because, you know, like if you're going to have the Black Mirror name, you kind of got to live it to what Black Mirror does best and what people like from Black Mirror. But overall, I thought the season was fine. I'll watch the next one, but if they keep delivering it like this, it's going to be something that just fades out of what I regularly watch.
Definitely better than season 5, for sure, right?
Yeah, I can't even remember season 5, except for the video game one. Striking Vipers, yeah.
Yeah. Is that the one with Miley Cyrus's episode in it as well?
No. Oh, no, I think that's season 4 or 3. The last one was that, yeah.
All right. So, what is your season 6 score?
For a Black Mirror season, I'm going the 5.2. Yeah. I didn't like the 3rd or 4th episode.
Yeah. I'm pretty much on the same boat as you, and I haven't even seen the 5th one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll probably go around about 5.1, 5.2.
Yeah.
Mark, really, for me.
Yeah. Fair enough.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for listening to our Black Mirror Season 6 review. Hope you all enjoyed it. If you want to hear more of our reviews, head over to moviegains.com and you can read and listen to any of our reviews, as well as read a lot of our other content that we do, such as box office results and box office contents and 4K content as well. And if you enjoy listening to us talk, you can head over to Spotify or wherever you pod from, search up Let's Be Real and listen to our podcast that's released weekly. Hope you've all enjoyed us and this review today. Catch you on the next one. See you later.